This is the simplest and easiest Mob Spawner XP farm on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. You can build this in just a few minutes and it's extremely cheap, only requiring these basic materials right here. This farm works for any of the overworld mob spawners, such as skeletons, zombies, spiders, cave spiders, and yes, even silverfish if you want to. You can set it up with a basic kill chamber where you just smack all the guys in the feet and you get their experience, or you can automate it and have a Trident Killer, that way you can AFK overnight and get hundreds of levels and tons of loot. As you can see, the inside of this mob farm is extremely simple. It's so simple that you can even memorize how to build it. That way you can build it multiple times without hassle. And it's also optimized so that you need to do the least amount of work to get the best rates from your mob farm. This mob farm is designed to never get backed up. So no matter how many spiders, skeletons, or zombies you have in here, they're always going to go into the kill chamber and get killed. This farm is optimized to give you the best efficiency so that all the mobs immediately drop out of the mob cap of the spawner. This means that the mob cap is never full and your spawner is spawning mobs as fast as possible. Turning off the mob farm is also really easy. You can just put one redstone lamp at the top of the farm, and whenever that's turned on, no mobs will spawn. So this is what the basic kill chamber might look like. You'll just have all of your skeletons or mobs right there, and then you just smack them in the feet, and then they'll drop all of the experience for you, and all their loot will go into the chest here. As you can see, you're going to get quite a bit of stuff. You can also set up your mob farm to have a Trident Killer. This is an automatic kill chamber so that you can just stand here and all the experience will be delivered directly to you, and you'll pick it up through the wall here, and all the items will automatically go into storage for you. You can literally stand here and AFK for as long as you want, and this thing will just give you a ton of experience and drops. If you hold a looting 3 sword, that's going to apply the looting effect to everything that dies within the kill chamber. Now, Trident Killers are tied to the person who throws the trident, so if you're playing in a multiplayer world, other players will have to switch out the trident. So if someone wants to pick up the trident, they can just stand right here in the corner, pick it up, and then just throw it back inside the Trident Killer, and it's ready to go for a different player. We're also using a simple trick with our skeleton spawners by having a glass block above the skeleton spawner. Any skeletons that would normally spawn on top of the spawner just instead fall straight down, which gives you slightly better rates. Most of the mob farm designs will just have a slab on top of your spawner, but this actually removes a spawning spot, and the more spawning spots you have in here, the better your rates will be. You can only use the glass block method with skeletons and blazes because they're always 2 blocks tall, so they always get pushed out. There's also another optional upgrade that you can make for spider and zombie and silverfish farms, because sometimes when they spawn on top of there, you need to knock them off, and just using a little bit of a tripwire hook will do that just fine, and this can give you slightly better efficiency. It might seem complicated, but in reality it's just a snowball dispenser and then 1 snow golem, so it never runs out of snowballs, and this will help improve your efficiency ever so slightly, but it's completely optional. If you'd like this kind of tutorial, then subscribe for more. I got a lot more videos on the way. The materials you need for this build is everything in my inventory: a couple of hoppers, 2 chests, a sign, a slab, a torch, an infinite water source, some building blocks, and maybe a piece of glass. If you want to be able to turn off the farm, then you'll need a redstone lamp and some redstone. And for the optional Trident Killer upgrade, you also want some redstone. All of these things right here in my inventory, including a looting 3 sword. If you're watching this, you've probably already found yourself a mob spawner, but if you haven't, then there's a super easy way to find them in your Minecraft worlds. Just go to the website chunkbase.com and put in your world seed. Make sure you select the version that you're playing on, and then you can select the little dungeon option right here. And as you can see, this is going to give you the coordinates of a bunch of different mob spawners in your world. To disable your mob spawner, all you need is 1 torch on top of it, and then it will never spawn any mobs. So that's all you need to do to make this area safe. And now we're going to dig out the area around it. So we're going to be building up a 9x9 diamond, meaning that we need to dig out 4 blocks in every direction from our mob spawner, being careful not to break the spawner itself. So go ahead and put down 4 marker blocks in every direction to create a nice 9x9 plus shape, and then we're going to use some blocks to make the diagonal walls that are connecting these together. So keep building up these walls until you have something that looks a little bit like this, and as you can see, it looks pretty nice and clean, and of course you need to do this on all sides. Now your ceiling needs to be at least 3 blocks above your spawner, so this torch is 1 block, that's 2 block, and your ceiling layer needs to be at least right here. It can be higher if you want it, but it doesn't have any impact on the build. Now that we have the full diamond installed, we need to dig out this room going downwards by 6 blocks. So this is block number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is going to be the new floor layer of your spawner. So dig out this entire thing going down by 6 blocks and keep the diamond shape going. And this is what it should look like once you have it dug out. And again, that is 6 blocks beneath the spawner. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once we have all this built up, we need to decide which side we want our kill chamber to be on. So it can be on either of these 4 sides. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick this side because I like it more than all the other ones. Now, there's going to be a little split in the tutorial. I'll show you how to build the most basic kill chamber first, where you smack them in the feet, and then I'll show you how to build the Trident Killer. For the simple kill chamber, we're going to place in a sign on the side that we want the kill chamber to be in. Now, turn around and place in some blocks for yourself to stand on. First thing we're going to do is break out these 3 blocks right here, and these 3 blocks right here. Place in yourself a water bucket in there, and on the other side as well. We need 1 more water bucket right here in that far back corner. And then turn to your left. We need a water bucket up and then a water bucket up on the right as well. And that is going to be the perfect water situation to push all of your mobs directly into this little area. Now, what we need to do is we need to break out this block, these 2 blocks, and that block. That way there's a little bit more room for your skeletons and zombies to fall down this hole. Speaking of this hole, we're going to dig it out by 3 blocks going down and place in a lower slab down there. And that is where all of your skeletons and zombies will end up. Now, I'd recommend also going ahead and digging out of here and just making yourself a little room over here. You can put yourself a ladder or a bubble column getting out of here. So this is the slab that we placed in, and our mob spawner is up in there, as you see. Now, the simplest way to do item collection and storage is just to put in a double chest right there with 2 hoppers facing into it, and then you probably want a slab right there so that no items land on top of your chest. And now if you go ahead and remove your torch, that is your mob farm done. But we can still upgrade this to have an automatic kill chamber, which I would highly recommend. Upgrading to a Trident Killer from your simple kill chamber is really easy. The first thing that you need to do is place in 2 signs right here to block that water. Remove these 3 blocks and remove that block. And now you need to mine out this entire thing going downwards by 3 blocks. So just 3 blocks deep. And that should give you a nice little 2x2 right there. Now we need to expand this to be a 4x4. So mine out a block in every direction, including the corners. And that should give you a nice little 4x4. This middle 2x2 right here is going to be the inside of your Trident Killer, and the outside edges of it is going to be for all the redstone. So start by placing in your pistons. You're just going to place them on the left side of your 2x2, going around in a circle. Now we're going to place in some solid blocks next to all of those pistons, and then on the front side facing your AFK room, we're going to place in 2 droppers in these upper corners. Now we're going to turn around, and in these back 2 corners have a couple of repeaters on 2 ticks each. Make sure that these are on 2 ticks. Now we need an observer facing that repeater, facing that dropper, and facing that repeater as well. Now just place in some blocks above all of your pistons. Now I know this can be confusing because you got to spin around in a circle a whole bunch, but this is essentially what it should look like. In the back corner of this build, facing the spawning room, we're going to break out that block, replace it with a stair block, and then waterlog that so that all of our items and experience goes to the front. If you go into your little AFK room, you can break out this block right here, replace it with an upside down stair, and then a slab right there. That way you can more easily see in there and also access your trident. For item collection, we're just going to place in a hopper right here facing downwards or to the side. You can send this into any item storage system that you want, but I'm just going to place in a double chest right there for some temporary storage. The on-off switch for this build is going to be right here on this dropper, so if you power that, then you should see all 4 of your pistons activate, and once you unpower that, then it should just go around in a nice circle like that. Looking at it from above, this is exactly how it should operate. Throw in any trident that you want. It doesn't need any enchantments on it, and it doesn't matter what durability it is, it's going to kill the mobs fast enough regardless. The final thing to do is to remove the torch from on top of your spawner. As soon as you remove this, you're going to get mobs to spawn, so make sure that you got a little exit behind you. And now we're just going to break that, and as you can see, you can get some guys to spawn on top of your spawner. The simplest way to avoid this for spiders and silverfish and zombies is just to put a slab right there and be done with it. But if you're building a skeleton farm, put a piece of glass above it like so. This will give you slightly better rates. And if you want to build the redstone for the snowball dispenser system, this is exactly what it looks like. It's super easy to put together if you're technically inclined. And now you can stand down here and AFK for as long as you want, getting tons of experience delivered directly to you. You can even go AFK fishing while using this farm so that you get double experience and maximize your AFK time. Or you could build something else down here like an iron farm. If you enjoyed this tutorial, then definitely subscribe so that you don't miss future tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys down in the comments and in the next one.